G'day. Just testing. I got I'm slow. Not a lot of people are awake right now. It's really strange. Okay. Well, I might as well start anyway, because it's about 2 minutes in anyway. Okay. Nobody watching. Fantastic. It's a little bit like bloody nobody's there to listen to them anymore, which is bloody brilliant. They can go and fuck off. Just drinking a little bit of my lying serum, my water. Before I get on to actually talk about anything, oh my god. Yes, Puss, what do you want? From Meow. Okay, fair enough. You can come over and meow right now if you want to. Yes, I can hear you, Puss. Okay, so one thing. What is it? I'm going to present this. So I'll present share screen and I will go this one here. So add to stage. Okay. So I only just popped onto this just 20 minutes before I was going to go and prep myself to go and get online. Oh god. Alan talking in their fucking Ether Cosmetics fucking channel or whatever the fuck it is. And Steve. No, it's not Steve. Fuck. Shane. Shane if I could have a serious discussion, right? And he invited me into this Ether cosplaying buddy channel. And I thought, well, I'm not gonna it's straight full of lies. Everyone in that thing is just lying all the time. Constant fucking lying. So anyway, after about a day or two, I thought, nah, I'll go and join and then I'll lay low and see what happens. And then I went back and checked and I'd been booted from it almost instantaneously. So didn't really last 20. Those boys, my goodness, man, they talk some shit. Anyway, so both Shane and Alan have they've reviewed Jainism's current points for why the Earth is a globe, and they absolute trash. I have to admit, they completely missed the point altogether. They're completely lost their mind. Professor, am planning on doing a Eratosthenes test tonight live on the channel. So it's up to you if you want to come and sit and watch or. But I was just going to get this one out of the way first. So, I don't tend to go out there and do live review. this one of Shane and Alan's here, because I don't really like kissing at the feet of other people who are just talking trash all day. But in all honesty, it's so bad. I mean, I only tuned in for like 10 minutes and I'd already heard like about 15 lies in a row. They have no clue talking about. It's just it's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing how clueless they seriously are, and they trick themselves. They smell their own farts, they're hoofing their own farts, and they believe it. Just suck it back in again and then fart it out again. Just suck in those farts again, because that they spit out is just absolute horseshit. And I can't believe they seriously have people who listen to Jane and Alan. This is horrible. Like, learn something, honestly. Mum Bakes Cakes, if you want to hop up, a co-host to come up and chat with me while I'm at it. But I just had to talk about this because I'm gonna watch this a little bit later, after I finish. But I'm just gonna be slapping my face non-stop. Yeah, I'm just gonna be slapping like a red forehead from the amount of times I slap my face, because I can guarantee you that Shane and Alan will be talking absolute trash this entire. I think I'm going to go completely deaf just listening to them, because it's just horrible. And I like, because just getting everything's so wrong. Just stop.
Why torture yourself? Why torture yourself?
Why torture? Look, I want to talk. So this message goes out to Shane, right? And even tonight's video, the Eratosthenes video, goes out to Shane, because 2 or 3 weeks ago he was like, "Oh, well, it's like, well, that doesn't defeat anything." But if he actually understood the globe.
Well, flat earthers don't understand the globe. They use the globe every time to demonstrate how stupid they are, how demonstrate the flat earth points they're trying to make, and every time they do, they bring up the globe every time.
Well, that's exactly what's happening with the stolen Walter Bisland model.
Yeah,
I've told him over and over again, why did you steal this Walter Bisland model?
Mm-hmm.
They use it to say that it proves flat earth, and it's like, no, it doesn't. Holy shit. And being dead set serious, if Shane was on the globe side, he'd probably be my closest ally. He'd probably be one of the ones I'd invite on stage every. He gets everything wrong every time. I need to talk to him. He's got it so wrong.
Are you having internet issues?
Am I having intermittent issues?
Internet issues, because you keep dropping out.
Am I?
Yeah, you go for about a couple of minutes, and then you drop out, and then come back in again.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This is not good.
You were talking, and then you went quiet, and then you come back up again. And that was the first time. They go, hang on, did it again, and did it again. Oh, what's going on there? You got your gerbils working for you?
Gerbils? Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now.
Okay, you can.
Nope, there you go. So you went off there.
No. What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Maybe I need to unplug this thing.
Yep. Right, so it seems that Swallow's having some internet issues. If you found him going in and out. Just comment in the comment box, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who had the same issue there.
Yeah. And it's showing some dots when I speak. So
Yeah.
have you heard any in this last 10 seconds? Have you heard any issues?
Well, you talk for a while, and I'll let you know when you drop
Okay.
out. All right.
All right. So I'm currently plugged into the Yeti orb. It's showing, between 1 and 3 green stars.
Mm-hmm.
I have unplugged it. As far as I know, it's working. But like if I unplug this thing, I'll have to go back to the webcam voice.
Okay.
Is there anything bad with that?
I don't know yet. I haven't said enough yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll take them for a good 20 seconds there. But anyway,
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye out on the pulsing, the little disc that happens around my face.
Yeah.
And hopefully that should keep on working.
Well, you seem to be going okay now, so go right ahead.
By the way, as you can see, I did change my icon a little bit. I figured that the black icon with the globe was a little bit dim.
Right.
Because I like my orange colors so much, orange stands out to the eye much better. And so I thought I'd put my little guy sort of floating in space. 5-degree angle because he's floating.
Right there. You said you're floating in space, then you cut off, then you came back in again.
Okay, I'm going to unplug it.
And there he goes again. So sorry for the technical issues there, folks. This happens with he hasn't got enough hamsters working for him in the basement. Got to feed those hamsters, buddy. Now, as for
can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay, so
you sound like you're in a cavern somewhere, but you sound fine.
I changed it to the webcam.
Right. And he's gone. And he's back. Yeah.
Hear me?
Yeah, gone.
Oh, this is troublesome. This is what happened last time. So I tried to turn my webcam on.
Yeah.
And
you cut it out again.
Damn it. Okay, this is problematic. Maybe.
May want to go to the restream instead. It's not going to work. I don't know. Technology, folks. It's amazing that flat earthers use technology and don't understand what they're using, and they use the technology to try and improve. Yeah, there you go. Yes, go on.
Okay, what I've done now, I've just simply unplugged the webcam because it seems the webcam when I have the webcam in, it sort of seems to cause a whole bunch of troubles with my sound. So, am I speaking fine?
So far.
So far, okay, good. Okay. All right. So, what I'll do is I'll wrap up what I was trying to say about Shane.
Shane.
Yeah. He's got everything wrong, and he needs to learn. And I really want to talk to him because he just keeps spreading bullshit online, and I'm sick of it. I really am fucking sick of it. So, I'll stop sharing that screen. Okay, that
cool icon, buddy. Cool icon.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's quickly flip over to let's just go to the basic one. So we've got Eratosthenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
yeah,
just to formalize everything, just to get a baseline thing, right? So Eratosthenes, basically someone who was born in Libya, basically 276 BC so before Christ, right? Greek scientist. Now he did many things. He did some sort of like a sieve or something like that, which figures out prime numbers. He did his own maps, and he did this obvious experiment right here. And I think he was a librarian. I think he was a musician. He was a whole bunch of stuff. So,
do you have the short video from Cosmos with what's his name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll find it.
I do have a Carl Sagan video. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, it's all lined up. It's all lined up. Trust me, I've got a whole bunch of things all lined up. So just wanted to get the basis. So essentially, what he tried to do, right? So, if anyone was paying attention this week, I went out there and posted a video, which I thought I'd posted, but I didn't. So I went and posted a video this week where I was actually in one of the Friday Flat Earth spaces or whatever like that, and I clearly stated very, very clearly that when you have 2 points of observation that does not prove whether or not it's a globe or flat, it is just 2 data points. It is not enough to be able to prove whether or not something is flat or globe. But when Eratosthenes started this procedure, right, he was under the prior assumption from other people around him that it was already a globe, and that what he wanted to do is he wanted to use this information about a well that was in where was it? Sagan, which is now called Aswan, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even 100% sure if I pronounced that correctly, but Sagan, there was a well that basically had light going all the way down to the very bottom of the water, and he found that feature interesting because it must have been a folklore sort of theme from that time, and he thought, if that's the case, and I'm working at the library in Alexandria, right? I wonder if I can go out there and do a test to be able to somehow figure out what's happening with the Earth and with the light rays and so on and so forth, right? So his main objective, because he was under the understanding that it was a globe, his main objective was to use these 2 data points to be able to create a circumference, right? So for Earth to have been, hinted as being flat, even at that time, flat earthers would have to believe that Eratosthenes did this experiment to establish the height of the sun. Now, there's nothing written in Wikipedia. There's nothing written in these websites. There's nothing written in any of the educational websites, like in a university book or anything like that. None of them will say that Eratosthenes went forth to get these 2 data points to establish the sun height. No books say that. They all say he went out to find the circumference of the planet, and the only reason why he went to that pathway was with a prior understanding that it was a globe first. That should be very, very clear. Now, when it comes to the Eratosthenes test, while 2 data points is not good enough to be able to decide which one it is, 3 data points can. 3 data points can go out there and help assist a person who's testing it as to whether or not it's flat or a globe. And if you increase the amount of data points up to 4, up to 5, up to 6, and so on and so forth, the picture, the painting will be able to be drawn better, and you'll have more data points to be able to finalize a decision. So I have no doubt that most modern scientists these days have their satellites tracked on the sun, and they have satellites tracked on stars and lots of stuff, and they have constant data. They wouldn't just have 2. They would have data from every single star, from every single geolocation, everything. And they would be able to input those 2 things together. Hello, kitty cat. and that would be able to assess whether or not it's flat or a globe. Now, I have no doubt that those scientists are having daily records. So, in a lot of ways, the Eratosthenes experiment is getting performed every single day. So I got the impression from listening to both Alan and Shane like 2 weeks ago, this idea that because it was some old dude from 2,300 years ago, and they don't even know if he even exists, even though he's been logged as being part of a library, a musician. You know, he's got a birth date, he's got a death age, he's got so much data. Even though they like to hang shit on someone who's 2,300 years old, right? They're misunderstanding that most scientists are still doing most of these experiments today, every single day. Would you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. Like they'll throw manure on anybody that tries to disprove their ideas of the flat Earth.
Yeah, and I mean even just the fact that they're basically trying to say that Eratosthenes never existed, or they don't believe he exists. The thing that triggers inside my head is it makes me think, okay, they say space is fake.
Yep.
They say what NASA does is fake. They say Eratosthenes is fake.
Yep.
There's a strong succession of basically claiming that nothing exists.
Yep.
And that's their baseline. You know what I mean? If you were to build a house, and you were to build a house on sand or clay or whatever like that, they basically build their house on the assumption that nothing is below it. It's almost like you put your concrete slab or your stumps into fresh air and say, we're going to build a house from fresh air, because everything is fake. So the ground is fake that the house building the house on top of.
Well, there's the sheer irony of their arguments, no matter what arguments they're going to give us, whether they say all these bad things, is they're using the internet, depending on where they live, to provide this kind of information, even if we know it's wrong information, but they're providing this information. And the very things they're using, the computer, the mouse, the keyboard, comes from usually China. But it's made something with all this, the people who designed it, that you knew the world we live on is a globe.
Yeah, and I mean we stand on the shoulders of giants, and in a lot of ways, Eratosthenes was a giant.
Yeah,
right. I don't know. I was thinking about it from a perspective of them saying he doesn't even exist. Like, records from 2,000 years ago was pretty shoddy at best. I mean, so like a lot of people could go out there and argue. Yeah, go on.
It doesn't really matter if he is if he's real.
Yeah, that's right.
Or not. His experiment, the idea of this bloke in Greek said, there's this event that happens, and I wonder why it happens, and he went to this well that he saw the sun directly in no shadows, and then hang on, the shadows are happening right now in Alexander, and so he said, hey, go walk 20,000 stadia, which is feet or whatever it is, and then with the angle is. So he sat up like down and go, rang him up today on the phone. Yeah, mate, it's at whatever it is, and he said, okay, work it out.
Yeah, you do raise a very good point. Actually, is the fact that Eratosthenes, whether or not he lived or not, he is an idea, and he is an idea which is implanted inside the heads of many, many people. It's even implanted inside the head of that Dr. Z. There was a video that got shared around recently, right, where there's this flat earther from 2009 who did a presentation before COVID came in, right, and he was talking about Eratosthenes. Right, so it doesn't matter whether or not he's here or not. The idea of Eratosthenes has lived on forever.
Now, you mentioned 3 data points there, Swallow. What would the third data point be?
Oh, third data point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like if say for instance that let's say that you had one data point at Alexandria in Egypt, and you had
Yeah.
another one at Aswan in Egypt,
Yeah.
and let's say you had another data point down in Kenya,
Oh, I
or
see.
maybe you had another data point up towards Turkey.
That wasn't taught of back then, though, was it? It was, here you had 2 data points, correct?
Well, what do you mean taught? Sorry, at the time, the only experiment that he wanted to do was the only one to have 2 data points. He just wanted
Correct.
a simple
Yeah.
simple explanation,
Yeah.
right? So he didn't source. He wasn't 2,000 years ago. He wasn't thinking, oh, there's going to be flat earthers who are going to do YouTube videos about this all the fucking time.
No,
That was the last thing on his mind.
no, of course not.
He was probably
Yeah.
more thinking about eating grapes, off the vine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was what he wanted to do. He wanted to philosophize and wear sandals all day long or whatever like that.
Well, I mean,
But
they had some good people back there. We had Eratosthenes, we had Plato, you had a whole bunch of other Greek philosophers and thinkers back then who wrote a lot of ideas and stuff that we get a lot of our current science from.
Exactly, there's tons of people. All right. I am going to stop sharing this particular one. So stop the screen on that
Let's show
one.
the Carl Sagan one. It's pretty short.
Yes, I will be. Let me get around to it. So let
All
me just pop up ET1.
That's a great video.
Okay. Add to stage. Okay. So this video here is I'll make it smaller scale so that you can see. Can you see the text down here? ET1 globe diameter versus flat Earth sun height. Right. So that was a video which I produced 31st of August 2023. Right. So this video is a good year or so, year and a half old, all right? And at the time, I merely I tried to test because I thought a lot of my flat Earth counterparts, right, are all in America. They can go out there and do this sort of thing. So I looked at St. Louis. I thought Memphis might be a good one to include, but I didn't bother. And I did New Orleans because I just wanted to go and get 2 points, and I just wanted to have them exactly top in the same line, right, vertically, and to go out there and assess it. And at this point in
You're asking
time,
a bit much there. I mean, flat earthers don't usually get out and do things.
Oh, 100%. They're all useless. They'll sit on the couch all day long. That includes Alan and Shane for sure. They are always sitting on the couch and never getting out. So this particular test that I did a year and a half ago, this test was within 1% accuracy of what the diameter of the globe is. So it wasn't outside 1 degree. It was actually within 1 degree. So that was one video I just wanted to mention that I did. Here we go. Hold my pocket. Morning all. Morning. Hold my pocket. I'll just pop that up there. And of course, Professor Bell is also saying he just wants to have a bit of a listen. Well, he wants to have a listen here, but please keep going. Okay, so I am going to show my other video that I did even before this first one. Solar angle 6. Okay. Pop. Okay, so this video here, I'll reduce the video again. So globe Earth versus flat Earth, solar angles in 6 towns, right? And this one's 13th of July. It is older, but I'm pretty sure I did the video even earlier than that. So this is about a year and a half old. Now, in this particular diagram, what I did was I laid the entire latitude system down flat, and I drew a turtle underneath to prove to basically simulate that was the flat Earth. And I did all of the sun angles at particular times for each town.
Right.
and then I put those exact same angles on where the town was on their particular latitudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was, if you can see like all the green lines,
Yep.
they're all within a 1 degree tolerance. All
Wow.
the red lines, all within a 1 degree tolerance.
Mhm.
All the grey lines, all within a 1 degree tolerance. And as you can see here, over on the flat Earth, it's
Yep.
fucking all over the place.
Yes.
The sun angles were shooting into everywhere. As you can see, these red lines here. The sun could be here, 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 or here.
Yeah.
You got to pick. You got to choose. You got to pick which place you want to put the sun. Do you want to put the sun down really low, or do you want to put the sun up really high?
Yeah.
Because none of it correlates.
I think you did this before. The other guy did that other great video where he did something very similar to what you did, but he did it in a 3D model. We had the angles on the flat Earth, and then he made it into a ball, and all the angles pointed to the sun. Did you see that video?
I'd love to see it. I probably have seen it. I'm not too sure, but I have to admit that I would certainly love to see it. So if you could maybe yeah,
I'm going to find it.
pop it on screen. Oh my goodness, Puss! What do you want, Puss? Stop screen. Yeah, I'll go present here. Now, Carl Sagan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the Carl Sagan one. Now, it's good video, I must admit. But if I was the script writer,
Yeah.
I would have rewritten what he said, because what he says in this particular speech,
Yes.
it has errors in it, which only cause problems for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I was to have my time, and this was, I think he released this the year before I was born anyway. So he did this like 1979 to 1980 or something like anyway. But if I had the chance to be able to rewrite what he says right now, it would go differently. It would be very, very different. Anyway, let's see if the actual sound works. Can you hear the sound?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, yes.
I'm not sharing it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's important. There we go. Okay, that's certainly important for sure. I will go back to where I started. Okay, sound check.
And it turns out,
Yep.
Good. Okay, let's play.
Sticks do. An overly skeptical person might have said that the report from Sagan was in error, but it's an absolutely straightforward observation. Why would anyone lie on such a trivial matter? Eratosthenes asked himself how it could be that at the same moment, a stick in Sagan would cast no shadow, and a stick in Alexandria, 800 kilometers to the north, would cast a very definite shadow. Here's a map of ancient Egypt. I've inserted two sticks, or obelisks, one up here in Alexandria and one down here in Sagan. Now, if at a certain moment each stick casts no shadow at all, that's perfectly easy to understand, provided the Earth is flat.
Okay, before I play on, I fundamentally disagree with this particular thing, because even if it was flat and the sun was directly over the lower spike, you would still get a shadow on the top spike. So that is fundamentally wrong, and I don't know why he says that. So that's my first issue with him, and I'm disappointed he said that.
Okay.
Okay.
If the shadow at Sagan is at a certain length, and the shadow at Alexandria is the same length, that also makes sense on a flat Earth.
Once again, I completely disagree. We'll move on. Fundamentally, he's made two mistakes, which I think he really should have rethought about.
But how could it be, Eratosthenes asked, that at the same instant there was no shadow at Sagan and a very substantial shadow at Alexandria? The only answer was that the surface of the Earth is curved. Not only that, but the greater the curvature, the bigger the difference in the lengths of the shadows. The sun is so far away that its rays are parallel when they reach the Earth. Sticks at different angles to the sun's rays will cast shadows at different lengths. For the observed difference in these shadow lengths, the distance between Alexandria and Syene had to be about 7 degrees along the surface of the Earth. By that I mean, if you imagine these sticks extending all the way down to the center of the Earth, they would there intersect at an angle of about 7 degrees. Well, 7 degrees is something like a 50th of the full circumference of the Earth, 360 degrees. Eratosthenes knew the distance between Alexandria and Syene. He knew it was 800 kilometers. Why? Because he hired a man to pace out the entire distance so that he could perform the calculation I'm talking about. Now, 800 kilometers times 50 is 40,000 kilometers. So that must be the circumference of the Earth. That's how far it is to go once around the Earth. That's the right answer. Eratosthenes' only tools were sticks, eyes, feet, and brains, plus a zest for experiment. With those tools, he correctly deduced the circumference of the Earth to high precision, with an error of only a few percent. That's pretty good figuring for 2,200 years ago.
So there you go.
There you go. Thank you.
So there was another obvious thing which I felt was not right in this, is the fact that like I was saying before about 2 data points is not enough. He went straight forward and just said that just proves it's a globe, which no. If I like I said, if I had my day, I would have rewritten his entire script and said the 2 data points is not enough. I would have rewritten it in a way where I basically said that Eratosthenes knew it was a globe from all of his colleagues, perhaps, and that he set out to find the circumference, and that was his purpose. I mean, yeah, there was errors in it. There was just errors in it. So, So we've just had a recent visit from Crypto Roast has come in. So g'day, Crypto Roast. And what's this? So I just found a video that shows how angles are flat Earth to Polaris. Yep. Now I've got a particular video on that as well, where I actually show Polaris from the southern hemisphere. You wouldn't believe how stupid that one is. Now I have no doubt PD194 certainly probably has done maybe a Eratosthenes thing, but look, I'm going to put myself under the under the microscope here, and I'm going to do it live. That was the whole idea behind this video, and so I'm obviously going to start right now. I'm going to try my best to actually draw it. So let's go to my.
While you're doing that, I'll like to say, like the day before yesterday, I think it was it today? It's a Thursday.
What's that?
So Wednesday. It was Tuesday, Wednesday. It was a Monday. I was outside, and it was a beautiful day. And looking in the sky, I could see the sun in the sky. I mean, above me, but the moon was a quarter moon in the distance.
Yes,
it was freaking awesome. Go on, sorry.
An awesome photo or video?
No, it was real life. I was outside, sitting outside, seeing the moon, and in the sky, clear as day, no clouds, quarter moon. You know, the sun's there's two objects, luminaries, the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time.
Yes,
really difficult on a photo, but please go.
Yes, it sounds like you had a zest for experimentation.
Oh, just looking in the sky and thinking, how does that work on a photo?
Yeah, well, that was a hat tip to Carl Sagan then, because you had a zest for experimentation. Okay, fucking Aussie's showing up. What's this? I look and I can see the sun in the sky. Okay, so Crypto Rose, he sometimes sends me a text message saying, "Can someone send us a sky laser my way so that I can actually get some sun rays?" Because he's in England, it's cloudy all the time. What is it, Puss? What do you want? Don't stand on the keyboard. You stay on the keyboard, you're going to get a smack.
It's always
going on
dumping
here?
my Denley Moore.
Huh? Oh, my cat's looking at my keyboard. It thinks it's a nice warm place to sleep. Trust me. Okay. So anyway, so as you can see here, so what I thought I might do, I might try to do it in 3 different ways. Actually, I thought I might do it in 5 different ways, to be honest. So first one's first, right? As you can see on Google Maps here, right? We have the driving distance. Now, as you can see, by this is an absolute mess. You can even see that it goes up and around some hills and lots of stuff. So trying to get from these 2 locations is not so favorable. And what I did plug it into is I plugged it into the actual airports. And there's a reason why I plugged it into the airports is because you can actually plug in something which actually gives you airport distances. Why is that not there? Go to the airport, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. That's now going to the airport. Okay. So, so the airport distance right now is 1,046 kilometers in distance. Okay. That's the short route. Let me flick over to stop screen and go to present
Yes,
again.
they didn't have airports back then, or many.
Yeah, I know, 100%, exactly, 100%. But I felt that I would plug it from airport to airport because I thought that was something I could also use to be able to enhance my testing, right?
Yeah.
Now, this website here is called Airmiles Calculator. So you can actually plug in 2 airports, right? And it will tell you the direct distance from airport to airport, right? And that avoids all the hills, right? So I can plug that one in.
You keep on and go to the restroom.
Sure. I will go back to presenting Google Maps again. It's a real pain in the ass that I have to keep on flicking it like this. It probably would actually be a lot easier if I just simply shared the entire screen. Maybe I should do that. So if you actually go in this Google Maps, so this one's got the driving style. Now, if you change it to the flight style, as you can see here, it's going to cost $1,170, and it's going to take 9 hours of flight time. And so this is going from the Aswan International Airport to what seems to be Borg Al Arab International Airport, which is just out of Alexandria. So I spotted one over here, but it did not seem to be an actual airport. It seemed to be like an army airport or something like that. So that one, I don't know what's going on with that. If that's been rendered obsolete or not, I'm not too sure. So now there's one evident problem with this. Now, as you can see, and before I actually talk about the problem, is I actually think that it's possible. It's really, really hard to find data on what this well is, but I'm actually starting to think it's now on this island of Elephantine. So on this island, Elephantine, you can see a lot of sites which seems to be of ruins. And when I had a bit of a look online, it did talk about Elephantine. And so I kind of wonder if this is the area where the old town may have been and where the well had been. It's certainly not this pool or something like that, but I definitely think that the well was in this region. So the problem with these 2 locations is, right, if I right click here, you can see it's at 23 degrees 19, 23 degrees 96 at 32.8. Now, when I pan across to here, you can see that 30.9. Now that must be the latitude, but 29.7. I think the other one was 30.8. So it's 1 degree to the left. No, 32.8. It's 3 degrees to the left. So these 2 locations are 3 degrees to the left, which dramatically impacts the true distance. So if I was to be in all seriousness, and if I tried to do it from a true distance perspective, I would be looking at the 30.9 by is that a 20? Oh God. It needs to be somewhere over here. See, 32.6, 32.8. If you look at that, 32.8, it's about there. So this location over here is going to be directly above Aswan. So that would be the better assessment because this is 3 degrees out of whack. So that's one thing that we have an issue. The fifth test is going to be something a little bit different than all of these types of experiments. So, I wasn't even sharing it. God, damn it. Always good to check. So, so as you can see, Aswan here and this airport over here is 3 degrees to the left. So that's not quite good enough. So my idea was that maybe I would have to make an assessment from about this location. So it's 32.8 right about here. So maybe around about this town here. That would be the better pathway because it's directly straight over the top of Aswan. So that's one of my third tests. So what I might do is I might stop the screen and I might change it to an all-out video of everything. Entire screen. I'm just going to make it entire screen because it's just too annoying to flip between channels. So as you can see everything now. So what do we got here? We've got Boomer in the chat. So hi Boomer, how you going? Okay, so what I might do first, I will go to this one here. So first things first, I'm going to draw in this distance here of, sorry, I'm going to do it by the car version first. So the car is 1046. So I've got a CAD model over here, right? Where I've already preempted it ready to be able to do some work into it. So 1046. Now let me stick a dimension on that. So there you go, 1046. Okay, so I might keep it in line with this one. So I'll just go like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the air miles calculator, and I'm going to go Borg L. Is it Borg L? Borg L, sorry. Borg L Arab Airport in Alexander, and then Aswan International Airport, and then go calculate distance. Now that one says 830 kilometers or 516 miles, right? So that is those two airports. So I'm going to punch that in as 830. So this one here, let's stick a piece of text down here. Road. Where's that piece of text? Okay. This second one is going to be air. And this one is going to be Google Maps. Okay, so this one here, I could have prepped everything in advance, but I didn't want to because I felt that I wanted to be absolutely pure. Nobody has interfered with this assessment at all. Okay, let's go to this one, and we are going to go measure distance. So this is something which I'm not too sure if anyone does this sort of stuff. You can go measure distance. You can get it from a spot, and we can line it up with, what was the sound? We'll call it Buraquita. Go distance to here. Now, direct line seems to be 776.
Pretty close.
Yep. 776 kilometers long. And I'll stick a dimension on that one.
No,
So they all have
Maybe.
they all have very, very different readings, obviously, right?
Yep.
So by road, obviously, we've got a lot of curves and a lot of uphills and downhills. By air, we're going airport to airport. But by latitude only, we've got 776. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 different variations, so we can test all
With
3.
intolerance.
Yeah, essentially. Now we're going to go to suncalc. So I've already set it to, I did do some prior testing here. So I already set it to the 23rd of September, which was the Northern Hemisphere's solstice. And I'm going to pump it in right where the airport is. Is it really showing it? I might have to quickly pop over and actually look what it looks like on this particular thing here. Okay, so there's a road, border strips there, road there. It's going to be around back there. What's that there? Can you see it? There it is. See the airport?
Yeah.
I can see the airport right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the left measurements on this. I'm going to make it the Alexander measurement. Now, let's see. I'll have to see what the time is. So it should go. Where's the it usually does a, what do you call it? Go away. Culmination. CUS is culmination. 12:53. So you got to move it to 12:50. Where's it? Can't actually see the numbers. Oh, there. Yeah, I can see it right in the left. 12:53. So it says it up here. So it says 12:53, and that's the culmination time. So, or maybe you could, because this is 41, I could make it to 12:54. 12:54. Okay, so the altitude is 58 degrees 79, I believe. Is that right? I would say so. 58 degrees 79. Are you seeing that as well? I should just double check that everyone's seeing everything. Yep.
Yeah. Fine.
Yep. All good. Okay, good. So 58 degrees 79. We'll do this one.
Is there any way you can make that the distance bigger so we can actually read it?
Yeah, I can modify that. Sorry, what was that angle then?
Sorry.
58 degrees 79. That's all right. 58.79. Okay. You're going to make this text bigger, eh? Text height, we'll make that 50. Okay. Is that easy to read?
Yes.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. All those numbers are easier to read, right? Now, let's go down to the other airport. Now, this, as you can see already, by the fact that I'm moving down to the other location, the sun angle is already in a completely wrong spot. So they wouldn't have obviously done it by timing. They would have done it by, when it hit the meridian, when they're at, because obviously they're just, carrying information, via word of mouth or paper at the time. So I'm at the other airport, and the culmination time is 12:41, which is meridian. So 12.
Well, back then they didn't have all this equipment. They had,
No, that's right.
with the sun over their head, saying, "Oh, that looks about
Exactly.
right. It's just over my head." So yeah, it looks about equinox time.
Exactly. It was they just got the best time that they possibly could.
Yeah.
They didn't have this tech for sure. 65.79. Uh, 65.79. Okay. So I'll just grab a piece of text and I might just modify it. So this one here is Alex. And the one on the right is, that's S1. And I'll make both of those ones a bit smaller. So I'll make them both 50. And S1 is here and here. Now, is it possible that while I'm doing some of this sort of stuff, that maybe you might be able to go and find out, can you Google what the globe diameter is while I'm doing this?
The globe diameter?
Yes.
Sure.
I want to be able to proofread at the end. And you don't have to tell. Don't tell me now. Sorry, what?
You want it in kilometers?
Yes, kilometers. I'm doing kilometers.
Yeah, okay, good. I'll go ready for it.
Okay, so this part here is a flat Earth first, right? So I will do the sun heights for all of these locations. I may have to split them apart because they're getting a bit on top of each other. 1, 2, 3. Now, as you can see, by the varying distances here, the massive amounts of difference in distance, it picks it at different particular heights. So the accuracy is very, very important when it comes to this sort of stuff. Now, for the road, if you use the road number to be able to figure out these two locations, and I'll just quickly fix this as they're in the wrong spot. It gives you a sun height of 6,695 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Okay, so that's if you trusted the road surface measurement. Now, if you did it by air, you would get a sun height of 5,313 kilometers high. And if you did it by the Google Maps, sort of like picking exactly latitude, and I'm not 100% sure how accurate I was with that one, but I was trying to tighten up just a bit. So that gives you 4,967 kilometers high. Okay, so as you can see, that's a pretty big sun height, and this is why on multiple occasions I've tried to ask flat earthers, what is the height of your sun? And they never give you an answer. They'll say 3,600 miles, or 3,300 miles sometimes, or 3,000 miles. Now, what's the formula again? It's about 1.67 or something like that. Are you able to, while I go off and modify this, can you actually find out how much? We'll go with this one, right? How much 4,967 kilometers is in miles?
How much is
4,967 kilometers into miles?
Into miles. 7 kilometers.
Yeah, into miles.
In miles. Yep.
Okay. Do you have a result?
Yep, 3,086.
So that's even higher than what they say. Because they usually say somewhere between 3,000 and 3,300 miles higher. And that was what, 3,800 miles.
3,086.
86, yeah. Oh, sorry, 3,086.
Yeah,
3,000. So only just a smidge over 3,000 miles, is it? Okay, well, that's good for them. But I mean, this one over here doesn't help them much at all.
No.
Not the trusting road distances is very good anyway. Now, What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these onto circles, and I am going to figure out what each diameter is for each of these observations. So I'm just going to put in a standard 10,000 kilometer line, and I'll put it to the tippy toes of each one of these. And the reason why I'm doing a standard 10,000 is because I just want to produce a 10,000 radius circle for each one. And I will manipulate it at a later stage to figure out what the true radius turns out to. And you'll see why. Okay, so what I like to do with this sort of stuff is I like to align these lines with a vertical. So I will align this line here with the vertical. Okay, so that's one particular thing. I will align the other. To there, and that one to there. Now, I'm sure many people are completely confused about what I've done here, but trust me, bro. Trust me, this is how it's done. So I might just actually leave that where it was. So I'll go, this one's Alex. That's Alex. And this one here is Aswan. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the two 10,000 things together, and that is going to be my starting point for a radius if it was a globe. Now, it's not going to be correct because I know that I've set it to 10,000 kilometers deep, right? So I know that that's not the radius. So this is my starting point. So what I like to do in this particular instance is I'll grab this circle here, I'll cut it up. Okay. And I've actually got a dimension setting, which actually tells me what the distance is of this particular line. So I got 1,222 kilometers long. So this one here was the first one for 776. So I have to down ratio it down to 776. Now, the way I do down ratio this sort of stuff is I have to punch in the result that I want, so 766, and I have to divide it by the result that it gave me, so 1,222. So my ratio, I have to downscale this, is 0.6268. Okay. So scale 0.6268. And you'll see why this makes sense. So what I will do is I will cut this of my final result. Cut that there. And then what you'll see is that the distance now between it is 766. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've done is I had to find out what ratio the 10,000 kilometer radius is wrong. That way I could do it to downscale. It's kind of like when you stick a piece of paper in the photocopier and you go, it's blown up a little bit too big. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to down percentages to 67% of its size. So I want to, it says 100% print, and you downscale it to 67% print, and then it makes a big print go into a small print, essentially, right? That's essentially what I just did. So this scale has been downscaled, and so this distance now here, I'll just double check that I fix this one. From there to there. Yeah, so that one is the one that is 766. Now, I will find out what the radius of this. Now, do you have that? Do you have that Earth distance radius ready to go?
The diameter, you mean?
Yeah, the diameter.
Yep, 12,756.
12,756.
Yeah.
12,536.
Pretty close.
Yep. So I'm 200 kilometers off what the Earth's radius is in this particular instance.
Wow.
It's pretty close. Now, give me those numbers again. 12,000. What was your number?
12,756.
756, right? So that's our final result, and divide that by 12,536. So that's 0.017% out of whack, which basically means it's 1.7 out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
So this one's less.
That's a tolerance. That's pretty good.
It's not bad for tolerance. It actually is it's worse than that other one that I had, where I had it under 1%. This one's actually slightly higher than 1%, but that's pretty darn good. Okay. Now, I'll do it for this one. We already know that one with Google Maps is going to probably be the most accurate because I tried to do it straight vertical. I didn't have the 3-degree, kick to the left. Now, this one's the aeroplane one. This one obviously is going to end up, the radius is going to end up worse. Now, I don't know if it's going to make it bigger or if it's going to make it small. We'll have to find out. So, what I will do is I will do my alignment set. So when I do my alignment, essentially I'm trying to make this this pink line go straight, and what it does is it kicks out the straight line to the opposing angle of what this is. That's essentially what it's doing. So I go align, and I'll take Alex with me, and I'll send his bottom line to there and his top line to there. Okay, so that's Alex done. Now I'll align this one again, and I'll take us one with me. I'll set his bottom point to here, his top point to there, and I'll get rid of that line. Okay, so this is the us one radius there. Okay, so this one's the by air distance. Okay. Now I will copy this little thing up here to find out how incorrect it actually turned out to be. So chop, and let's find out what its tolerance is. I don't know why that didn't give me a result. Give me a result, please. There we go. Okay, so 1,222. So my target is 830. 830. And the distance that I got was, so divide that by 1,222. Okay. 0.67921. 0.67921. 0.67921. That's the ratio right there. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Let's quickly cut and paste this again to confirm that I've done it right. $830. Well, you could see it for 2 seconds there before it bloody broke. Come on. You can see it's 830, right? And so that's our flying distance, 830. So the ratio on this one should be right as well. Now, what I will do is I'll find this and I'll stick that smack bang in the middle, and let's do another dimension again. Now, what did you say the globe's distance diameter was again? About 12,600, 12,700 something?
12,756.
Okay. All right. So this one's got 13,584.
Oh.
So this one's a much bigger Earth.
Right.
So let's go again. So it was 12,756 divided by 13. 0.584. Okay, 0.93 or 0.94. So it's 94. No, I'll do it the other way around. I'll go like this. 13,584 divided by 12,756. Okay, so this is 6.5% too big.
Yeah.
According to the results, 6.5% too big.
Still,
that's that one.
Pretty good.
It's okay. Still pretty good. And I was just thinking while I was doing those calculations just then, I was thinking, I don't think you'd actually even see like Shane or Alan actually bothering to do any of these calculations at all. That they would actually be simply doing ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Align. Okay, so let's take Alex with me. Let's go again. Now, I think this was the road one, and I hope I haven't put anyone to sleep yet. I probably have. That's Alex. Align. And S1. And it's TB type to there. I'll try to move faster now. Okay. Same thing. I got a 10,000 kilometer Earth, which is just too big. And I will copy this and find out its distance.
Okay. Yeah, still pretty good. Okay.
Okay. Let's get an arc distance. Yeah, it's still strangely enough. It's still 1,222. That seems to come up very often.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's 10,000. What am I talking about? Of course it is. Stupid. Why didn't I realize that? It was always going to turn up at the bloody same, wasn't it? So how was I doing it again? I was going the result I want is 1,046, and the result I have is 1,222. I divide them, so I get 0.88597. It's 855. 85597. Okay. Checking again. Because we always triple check our work, don't we?
Oh.
We don't just blindly go in there and then hope for the best. 1,046.
Mm-hmm.
It rings true with what our result was supposed to be. So let's find out what the diameter is. Okay, 17,119. Huge. Ooh. That road one really obviously made the diameter very, very big. So the bigger the distance that is measured on the ground increases the diameter. That should be obvious, isn't it? So the more that you travel for the same angle,
mm-hmm.
The bigger the radius of the Earth. So we want 12. It was around the other way, wasn't it? So we're going to go 17,119 divided by 12,756.
Correct.
Okay, so 34% out of whack.
Mm.
So by road, it's pretty problematic. It's 34.2% too big.
Yeah.
So by road, not so great. Great. All right. So that's all three of those assessments, and you can even see the size of this Earth over here in comparison to this one here. It's pretty big in comparison to the other one.
Yeah.
But still, you know, I think Eratosthenes, I think, had like I think they said it was within 1% or something like that. So it's probably
Yeah.
more akin to what this one was.
Mhm.
Let's just check one particular thing. So this is 776, right? So okay, the circumference, I can actually read what the circumference is on this particular thing over here. Now, Carl Sagan said something about 50 times the radius.
Mhm.
So if I have a circumference of 39,383, right, which is kind of close to what we expect, and then divide that by 776, I'll get 50.7 multiples. 50.7 multiples.
Amazing, huh?
Right? So that's pretty darn close to what Carl Sagan was saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know what I might even do? I might even change color, right? I didn't even get to draw my little suns. I was planning on doing little suns up here. Oh, shit happens. I was planning on doing little suns. Okay, so one thing I was thinking about doing. So that was so the quoted Earth distance is 12,756, right? Okay, so 12,756. No, that ain't right. Let's go divide that by 2. 12,756 divided by 2 to get a radius. 6,378. 6,378. Is that right?
Okay.
Am I too small? Yes, I was too small, wasn't I? I was 200 kilometers too small, wasn't I? So the actual Earth radius is a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
So it actually is sort of
In the ballpark.
it's starting to lean more towards saying that my two GPS numbers were maybe I was too tight with those. Because as you can see, the true Earth radius is a little bit bigger than than my calculated one. And obviously on this one was airport to airport. So the true radius is right here, but the airport radius has given me this number out here.
Yeah.
So there you go. Do you have any questions? Because obviously I tried to run through those things quite quickly because I knew that everyone's time is precious. But did you understand what I was doing there?
Yeah, you basically put on using this particular software and using angles and stuff like that. You try to work out the angles to the sun, and then get the distance with those angles to, or get the radius of the Earth as close as possible to what it really is, using basic math. And in each instance, with the road, the airport, whatever, you're within a certain tolerance of the actual figure, which is still pretty amazing.
Yes, I think it was 1%. It was 1% on the Google Maps. It was 3% on the airport, and it was about 35% on the road. But the primary reason why I did a 10,000 kilometer one was to produce a generic ring that had no bias whatsoever, and I shrunk it to be able to match the distances.
Yeah.
So the 10,000 was a non-starter issue. That was just so I could get a ring to be able to attach them to, and then I shrunk them so they reached 776, and that way they could clash together. Now, the important fact is that I don't think you'll find any globe earthers who will actually say that sun rays are exactly parallel. It's near parallel,
Yes.
or it's towards parallel.
Well, because the sun's so far away.
Essentially parallel.
Yeah, it's essentially parallel. Yeah.
Yes, because I think we might even get like, I think we get like a variance of like about half a degree from a certain point. So if we were to pick a point from the center of the sun to the left side of the planet or the right side of the planet, we're within like, what is it, like half a degree or something like that? I can't quite remember. So the light that goes from one particular side to the left versus the one goes to the right, there's an angle in that. But there's also an angle in the fact that the sun is much wider than what we are. So we're getting light from all the way on the far right-hand side of the sun and the far left-hand side of the sun. So all those angles, there's a whole variation of angles of light. I mean, even if you're outside and you step one step to the right, the angle that the light is coming from the sun is still going to be a microscopic amount different. So it's not exactly parallel.
But it's very close. I mean, when the photo earthers bring up their favorite talking point, which is the rays of sun when you go to see the clouds. What are they called again? Name escapes me. Crepuscular rays, right?
Oh, yes.
And so they see, when I've seen crepuscular rays on a beautiful sunset when the sun's going down, you can see these beautiful rays going in different angles, and then you see the reverse, which is the anti-crepuscular rays, where the rays are going up instead of going down. I mean, into another angle. So
yes,
and photographers never mentioned the anti-crepuscular rays.
Yeah, and they also think that because we see railway tracks coming towards us, that means that the vision is coming towards us, but the sun, the vision is going away from the sun. So it's almost, when they talk about it, they're almost envisioning their eyeballs to be at the sun end and not at their end.
I remember
because it's going the other way.
Yeah, I remember someone saying in regards to perspective at the time, where they were showing a demonstration of perspective on a computer screen, right? And how things went further away, became smaller, smaller, etc. And then they put the sun into this model, into this drawing. The sun stayed the same size, even though it went down into the sky. I'm thinking, but if it's going to work from that perspective, the sun would also shrink. And then someone brings that video with the sun shrinking, but it doesn't do it every day.
Yeah, it does it. It does it throughout the year.
Yeah.
So from I can't recall, but for December, I think December all the way through to about June. I think when it's in December, it is its closest, and when in June it is its furthest, and so that will be the ratio of when the sun's diameter will actually be at a different size. But it's not going to do it every single day.
Both of us have just experienced the equinox down here. I think it was a few days ago.
Yes.
Southern equinox, right?
Yes.
And then we goes from the equinox, which is the most southern part where this is why they had the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. It goes from here into on its way to the equator from where we are to equator. So we're going to go into from our summer into spring, into autumn, and then into winter, right? As it goes, it's closer to the equator. Then when it goes further north, we get into our winter months. Snow comes in. We don't call it cold. It's like it's 10 degrees. It's pretty cold for us, but it's nothing compared to like Switzerland or anything like that, right?
Yep.
So the northern side of the world, where Europe and most of these flat earthers are, they start to thaw out. Spring comes along, and birds are singing and everything like that. The hills are like it, that kind of stuff. So they're getting experience. And how does the sun move like that on a flat Earth? No one explains this sort of stuff.
No.
Yeah. But that was a great detailed Eratosthenes experiment there as well. It was all done.
Yeah, and I mean, I've done it in 2025. I've done it, 2,270 years after Eratosthenes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he
the
did
thing
his
is,
test 2,270 years ago.
and people are still doing it today.
I'm still doing it. Even Sly Sparkane did it like a couple of years ago. He did a really good one.
And the other popular experiment is the Cavendish experiment. I remember Blue Marble Science creating that wonderful wooden architectural piece. He made this beautiful experiment, the Cavendish experiment. Well, it was, and it's in some school somewhere in America. It's fantastic looking thing. Anyway,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I think the only other one that I was thinking about doing, because ultimately, if you want to improve your accuracy, is you might want to do it as per the stars.
Right.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to actually increase my accuracy at all, because I'm already pretty happy with the Google Maps one as it stands. And it's going to be certainly pretty tricky. Well, I could just.
I'm not sure if the stars would be a good idea, because the flat Earth is going to throw. Oh, you can't judge the sky, the land by the sky.
Well, I've already used the sun. I have already used the sun already, so I have already. You looked at the sky to prove the Earth.
It's ridiculous.
I think what I was going to do with this particular one was, because I was in the north, and this one's already plugged in for us one. I was going to pick some sort of star that would be within that would strike the 180 point. And I thought, I wasn't too sure which one I would use, but I've noticed that during the middle of the night, Uranus actually is above. So I might as well do some assessment to Uranus, if that's all right with you.
I think Australia is the only place you can. Well, southern continents are the only places you can see Uranus from. Is that correct? 100% sure.
Well, look, you can see the Uranus from wherever you like. I mean, all you need to do is just get someone else to pull your pants down.
Okay.
But
down now, keep it clean.
Okay, so so one of the things I noticed on this particular thing is you can actually see, it says I think this one here where it says 0.097. So I believe that you can actually, if you get, see, it's not good for it's not good for nighttime. Although, hold on one second. 126, no. Come on, I need to turn it around. There we go. See how see the vertical line? You see how I've got the can you still see it? Yeah, you can still see it. Good.
Yeah.
You see how Uranus is straight on this brown line here?
Yeah.
So what I need to do is I need to, so 181.40. If I can increase, oh, okay. This one, I got 178.56, 179. Okay, 180 degrees, 0.6, right? So I'm going to use Uranus, and I'm going to say 8607. Now, I don't even know if I don't even know what this is going to look like, to be honest. So it'll be a raw test for you tonight. So 8607, and this one's from us one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this formula, the one from Google Maps.
Now, talking about stars, I mean, the flat earthers bring up their Polaris all the time and to validate their claims. But and then they brought up Captain Cook and his crazy journey down here. What they failed to even mention is why Captain Cook came down this way in the first place. And one of his missions, one of his objectives, was to track the position of Venus, because Venus was going to cross the sun at a particular location on Earth. Right?
Mhm.
And the only place you could see it from is down here, down our way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it was this was part of his voyage was to get further enough south to see the transit of Venus.
Yes.
At this particular time, at the particular, whatever it was, and he did it. Right? I think it was in Fiji at the time when it happened, or somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's interesting because I think you can. I'm sure you should be able to see Venus from both the north and south, but it's a bit for a particular time, wasn't it?
Yeah, this again, the transit of Venus happened like across the sun at a particular.
Oh yes, the transit. Yes, the transit. Yes, that's something obviously very specific because they wanted to be able to see it from different heights to be able to calculate how many hours it goes at the top and how many hours it goes at the bottom, doesn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they couldn't figure out any other way to do it until so okay, you're gonna be able to see it at this particular place somewhere down here. So yeah, okay, off he goes in the ship, travels down south and does a bunch of navigation and stuff, and goes, okay, well, maybe Fiji, you can see it now.
Yep.
The transit of Venus, amazing. And because based on the globe, nothing to do with the flat Earth at all.
Yeah, I gotta admit, while I do know a little bit about that, I haven't yet figured out truly how that actually figures out the distance. So I've got to investigate that one a little bit more.
Right.
Okay, so I got Uranus again from 180 degrees, and this one's from the airport at Aswan.
Yeah. Were you able to find the well in Aswan at all?
Sorry, this first one was from Aswan.
Oh.
That's in the wrong one. Sorry, while you went off to the toilet break, I think I did find it. Well, I have an assumption as to where it might be.
Okay.
See, this one's actually this one. Yeah, I'm doing the one for Alexander right now. Is that 79 degrees? Is that south or is it north? I don't know. It's plus 79. See. Right. Maybe it might even be the other direction. We'll have to see. So 79, 18, 12. It may actually be the other direction, but that's fine. The result should be fairly similar anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's going in that direction. Well, I'll leave the old one to see if the results are the same anyway. So they go in the other direction. Why is that? See, when I said I was going to do it live, I was going to do it errors and all.
Well, that's the only way you're going to learn. I mean, this is the thing. But others don't fact check or do research or do anything like that.
Yeah,
they just they'll just see a video and get the snippet or cherry pick any particular section that agrees with them and refuse to read the rest of it. Useless. Since TFE, I've lost interest in talking about flat earthers completely. It's like, what's the point? They're just going to bring out the same bullshit anyway. Nico was a classic.
Okay, so there's Polaris, but there's a horizon. So it should be. So if Polaris is over here and the horizon and the horizon's there, so it should kick up. Should kick up from the horizon. It should be. It's pretty close to that. I think the case is that it's I don't know. I think I must be right because the other one does not. They don't cross each other, whereas this one does. So it has to be right. So 6402. I'll just have to go with it because I'm not 100% sure, and I don't really want to have to think too hard about it while I'm under pressure here. So, let me get my little sticks underneath. Look, if I wake up tonight at 2 a.m. and I go, fuck, I did it the wrong direction, I'll know. Trust me, I'll be sweating bullets when I wake up. But at the moment, I'm gonna go with
doing more than
what
flat earthers do, right? Which is
I'm certainly am. Yeah. Align. Now I noticed back at the chat that that Crypto Rose has already unsubscribed because he says my readings was not accurate enough. Oh. It's a bit of a shame. So I'm sorry, Crypto Rose. I'm sorry.
It can't all be perfect.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now, of course, what's a bet? When we do the radius, we're going to know that it's 1,000 and 222. It's going to be somewhere in that region. Well, I don't know why I did that. That's weird. I'm sure it is. $1191. Interesting. So now my target distance is 776. 776. And divide that by 1191 equals. Oh shit. See that? 776 divided by 1191. They stacked it into a million. 0.6515. .65155. Okay, I'll make my things right again. Distance of this 776. Okay, so we've got the right formula. The formula is all correct. I'll snag this and I'll attach it to the tippy toe of this these lines, and let's get the distance here. Now I'm not too sure if this is going to be more accurate or worse. It's worse. It's actually worse. Using Uranus is actually worse.
Right.
Who would have thought that doing that sort of stuff would be worse?
Well, we tried. Well,
we tried. Look. The thing was so 13031, right, divided by, I think it was 12,756. I think it was. It's 2.1% out of whack. So if anyone's not understanding what they're reading here, I've just dropped the 1 point off the top, right? And basically what I can see here, if you put a decimal point right here, it's 2.15. That's the ratio that it is. So it's 2% out of whack.
Right.
So the thing is with this sort of stuff is, right, is this is still 2 data points. Yep. You know, if you could have 50 data points and you spread it all the way across, and you model it on something which, if you model it on something in 3D, I'm sure it would tighten up everything, and and then you would be able to start to iron out some of those discrepancies.
Yeah.
But essentially, I got 2% on this one, on the one to Uranus. I've got 1% on the Google Maps. I think it was 3.5% or something like that on the flying, and like 30% on the road. So that's all my tests for tonight. So yeah,
I think next
done
time
live.
we could go into I mean, like the surveying, like how they surveyed America from one from east to west, and how they did India.
Geodetic surveying.
Yeah, that would be, because that proves that we live on a globe, no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, the thing I don't really have access to any good geodetic surveys. I wish that I could, so I could actually see it. But it'd be similar to see. There was a video today on Jeranisms today where they interviewed Jesse.
Yeah.
And Jesse's awesome with this sort of stuff. He does his he can get the theodolite out, and he can do assessments. Now I kind of wish I had a theodolite myself. I could do this sort of thing, but yeah, when you can do that sort of stuff, you can go out there and put yourself on 3 different mountains, and you can find if you can spot one of your surveyors off to the left, and then you can spot the one of your surveyors off to the right, then you can find out what the angle is difference from the one on the left to the one on the right. You find that out. If it's like 35 degrees or something like that, the other guy might have 41 degrees, and the other one might have like 60 degrees or something like that. And if you add all those 3 things together, and I would imagine in most cases they probably equal 180.5 degrees, which means it's 0.5 degrees larger than what it should be. Because if all things were equal and all things were on a flat Earth, then you would only get 180 degrees within a very, very small tolerance.
Yeah.
But when you start to get more discrepancy, it basically means I forget what the word was for I know McToon always likes to talk about it, sort of I don't know. It's just the number is always above 180, always. It never goes down to 179, because if it went down to 179, we'd be on a concave Earth, I think. So yeah. Is there any questions from the chat? I can see that Crypto Rose obviously says he's unsubbed, and Golden Skeptic is saying hello. So, and we're back down to about 2 viewers right now. So we've probably lost 1 or 2 people who are probably bored shitless. But I'm still under my 2 hours. I haven't not excelled past my 2 hours.
Yeah.
So is there any way? Is there any
very
questions?
Interesting.
Sorry, what's that?
So it was very interesting, and I found that the software you're using was quite extensive. I mean, it's I asked flat earthers. We've got these tools out there people can use for free. I mean, what you just showed me on your screen there, you could download for free, and people could actually use this kind of stuff on their own. And there's other software out there, 3D CAD, and all this stuff you can download for free, and design and create and make models and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, flat earthers are adverse to doing anything. I've seen only less than a handful of flat earthers who can do 3D modeling. Right?
Yep.
Which is very strange. But yeah, they just live off memes and getting things wrong. And when I was talking about yesterday, you asked about why I was on the show with and Max.
Yeah, well, I popped on and I saw your face, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute! How did he get up on stage?" Okay, if he can get up on stage, that means I could probably get up on stage.
Yeah, get on there, mate. When he comes on,
I thought it'd be like invites only, but when I saw you up on stage, I thought, maybe you could just simply say, "Can I get an invite?" And you go, "Yes."
Anyone can join. I mean, I've been on a few times, and
have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't say much. I arc up a little bit. I'm pretty quiet in the background, but I'm listening to what they say.
Yes.
Yeah. So when Nico said about the 4 things he brought up, or the 5 things he brought up, I brought up everything he said was wrong, because I said space is not fake. Rockets do exist. People have gone to the south, and 24-hour sun, we've seen it. And it's about the Bible. My mother's a very religious person. She doesn't think the Earth is that either. So everything he said was completely bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe I might jump on his thing again one day.
Yeah.
But I just like while I do have everyone sort of while I do still have you watching, I wouldn't mind just showing you one other thing I've done before.
Sure.
So let's see if I can add the stage again. So go back to this. I'll pop off. So Crypto has said reciprocal zenith angles. Now reciprocal zenith angles. That's where you're looking at someone in the distance, and the angle that you see them at, right, is down below the eye level. So that basically means that your plumb bob angle is tilted back. So you're looking further up, and they, even though they're supposed to be at the same height as you, are down below you. So that's not quite the. I think it's like, like circular excess or something like that.
Could be.
It's like, yeah, it's something like that. It's like sphere excess or something like that.
Spherical excess.
Spherical excess. I think that's what it is. Okay, so okay, can you see another CAD model up on
Yep.
stage?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did this one very recently, and this one is got to do with the angles to Venus, and I've heard so many times in the last month or so where people say, "Oh, if you're on Earth and the Venus is in front of you, then you can't see Venus because it's right where the sun is." I mean, like, you can obviously if you can see, that's how big Venus is. So I mean, scale always matters, always matters. So you can see how small Mercury is. It's tiny. I mean, that's the sun there. That's Mercury, that tiny little dot there. That's Venus there, and this is the Earth. Now, as you can see by this angle here, even that one was technically wrong there. It should have been on this side, but you see, if you can see this circle as being Earth, right? This side is sun. This side is the day side, where the sun is above you all day long. This side is the nighttime. This line over here is midnight. So if your sun sets, right, and if you're like 10 minutes after sunset, you should be in this area right here, right? If you're 10 minutes after sunset, you should be standing right here, and it should start to get dark. Okay. Now, if you're standing after sunset in the dark, you should be able to go and see Venus at this angle. So, and even Mercury at this angle, because the sun is blocked by the ground in front of you. So you could look up and you can see Mercury and Venus from this angle just fine. Yeah. So, I think a lot of people go, oh, well, if you're looking at Venus, you're looking at Venus from here, but that's lunchtime. This right here is 12 o'clock during the middle of the day. That's lunchtime. Why would you be looking at Venus during lunchtime? You wouldn't, unless you can actually get a telescope and knock out all of the light noise. Maybe you might be able to see Venus, but look, I don't know. You see, Venus. The thing about Venus and Mercury is that we will only ever see when they're in this region here, we'll only see like a quarter or a half of their lit side. So the side that's facing the sun will be lit, and the side that's on the back will be dark. You probably could go out there and see Venus from all the way over here, and that may have you'd be able to see more of the planet, but it's heaps further away. And the light's traveling here, like that must be about like 12 minutes distance. It's traveling a long way.
Well, you know how you use back in the day, I made my own camera. You put a little pinhole in a shoebox, right?
Yes.
And you can see the reverse picture or whatever it is on the back of the shoebox. Now,
Yes.
so if you put that same technology back in the day when Captain Cook was traveling to Fiji to get the transit of Venus, because you can't look at the sun directly,
Yes.
you'd get blind. And you see, like if he did something like that, you just imagine him with a shoebox looking at the sun, and you could see this like beauty spot going across the sun, because that'll be Venus, right? Transiting the sun. See?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I am kind of curious if you could still see it if it was if you did get the pinhole. I know if you do a pinhole, it can turn up maybe about the size of a coin on the ground. So I'll be kind of curious as to how big you could enhance it up to, so you can see the actual transit start. But for the typical normies, for a typical flat earther who's not going to do anything of scientific value whatsoever, we're talking about being able to see Venus during the middle of the nighttime.
Right.
And if that means looking up at 7 p.m. at night, 1 hour after the sunset has happened, then you should still be able to see Venus if it's at those extreme ends.
Well, you then have to say whereabouts is Venus in the dome, right?
Well, that's it. Inside the dome, it's another thing that's been pinned to the ceiling.
Yeah, right. Somewhere up there, right? Someone just pinned it there. Oh, pin the tail of a donkey. Yeah,
Yep.
like there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, some of this Venus talk has also made me think to myself that so when we see it in the evening, right, as you would have seen from that diagram, when we see it in the evening, it's on the left-hand side of the sun. When we see it in the morning, it's on the right-hand side of the sun. So when we see it on the morning, it's traveling towards the apex here and then around to the back. But when we see it in the evening, that means it's coming closer to us. So that's just another tidbit of information to understand it, because essentially if we are out there and we see Venus in the middle of the night, that means it's coming towards us.
Well, just going back to, I was talking about Captain Cook and his transit. I mean, go back even further to the Greeks or the Romans, where these planets existed: Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter. They could, how did they know these planets were out there just by going out to the night sky and seeing them and naming these things? Amazing.
Parallax.
Well,
it's all due to parallax, because
like Mars was the
it was the first one they figured out was retrograding.
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially with parallax, just in case anyone hasn't read up on this sort of stuff before, or maybe someone watches this in a year or two or whatever like that. Right. So when you look up in the night sky, you might see 3 or 4 stars which you recognize every single night, right?
Right.
And you can zoom in on that area and go, okay, well, I can see Mars is, halfway between this star and that star, right? And then if you look on the next night, that Mars has moved maybe like what feels like maybe a centimeter or something to the left.
Yes, but they had to name Mars in the first place. So I'm trying to get at.
Yes.
So they see this thing in the sky. They don't know what it is. Oh, we'll call that Mars, right?
Yeah, well, I reckon back in the day, they obviously probably would have been doing that quite often, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that it has some sort of Greek or Latin origin. But yeah.
I think they had telescopes back then, so you could look at these things,
Yeah, well, I mean, you can certainly see Mars and Jupiter in the sky with the naked eye.
Yeah.
And you can also see Venus in the sky with naked eye. Mercury is a little bit more trickier, but certainly if you could see those main stars without without a telescope, then I have no doubt that they'd be able to start data logging it. And I mean, I'm kind of curious how they data logged it back then. Anyway, they would have had to have had some sort of uh, inclinometer, I think they call it, where you can look up and you go, okay, that one's 47 degrees up or something like that. And then they'll go, okay, so it's pointing at the 270 degree west sort of direction. And they'll be able to go out there.
Back in the day, we didn't have really like time. They may have like a egg time or something like that, so to get the hours right, something like that. And then living back then, trying to figure out, what the world they're living in, seeing all these stars in the sky or the moon, Mars, and so forth. Okay, at this particular time, hang on, this happened last year. It became cold, or we grew plants and the plants grew well, or this is how farming evolved. It's just fascinating stuff, waffling.
Yeah, well, they certainly didn't have trustworthy timepieces back then.
No.
They struggled to have timepieces which would stay clicking all the time. Because they would run out of energy and then stop, and then you'd have a dead clock there. So no doubt it would have been really, really hard back then, but they did some amazing work. So we, like I said back at the beginning, we stand on the shoulders of giants. And these giants did a bloody good job for what they are. So they should not be poo-pooed by getting manure thrown at them, by so-called experts of Shane and Alan who are breaking the laws of physics, apparently. So
anyway,
and I hope that Shane watches this, because maybe he might be able to go out there and do the same experiment that I just did then, where I actually use the angles to go and prove some sort of radius or sun height, because I've never seen them do it. I haven't seen them do it. Everything they present is always theory, and I don't see them ever attempting to draw two angles together to figure out which way they go.
Or they're going to get the angulometer out.
Well, either way, I mean, you can do this sort of stuff on a pen. You can do this stuff on a pen and pad. You really can.
That requires numbers, buddy. Philippa's not really good at math.
And a protractor. If you get a high school protractor, you might be able to try.
Ooh.
I mean, that would have been what Eratosthenes would have had at the back then. He would have had to have custom make a protractor, and he would have had to figure out how to divide it by 360 degrees so we could figure out
90-degree sextant.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that. They can only bend to 60 degrees each way. So
hilarious.
Is it 60 degrees each way or 60 degrees max?
It does make me laugh. Yeah, sorry.
All right, all good. I'm up to 2 hours. I'm going to cut it off there, because I know Dan. I said to Dan that the 4 to 5 hour streams is just too much sometimes.
Yes.
And so 2 hours.
My videos are like under 1 minute. If I can do so, it's like why keep it longer? Make the point and go. But when you're discussing things like this, like in detail, like what you just showed us with the angles and everything, I'm sure there are other videos out there, but it was really well done. So thanks very much.
Well, most of those other videos I did, right? I went out there, I got the data on the presentation at the beginning, and then I fast forwarded the 20 or 30 minutes or whatever like that it took to do the process. So the video is only like 10, 15 minutes max. But I felt at one point in time, someone did actually ask me on one of those particular videos, I said, can you show me how you've actually drawn this so I can actually replicate it? And I said, I'll show you one day. And I had never shown anyone. And so if they ever want to watch this, they'll be able to see the way I worked it out and the way I put those numbers together and squished it together to make a pie, and cut the pie to pieces. So
so what topic can do next? You got any format?
What I would like to do next is I've been thinking I want to go and hit geocentrism so hard, because
I'm not familiar with that topic at all. Geocentrism.
I was commented on by someone who was talking about geocentrism, and he put me onto some sort of PDF, and I started reading the PDF, and I was like, bullshit, straight off the bat. He was like, "Oh, I've got to look at it with fresh eyes," and I said, "You got lots of very clear problems here."
Right.
So I've got a PDF.
Mhm.
I might expose it, but the other thing is too, I have to be very, very, very time conscious too, because
Mhm.
now I don't think I've mentioned this before. So next Wednesday is the 2nd of April, and the one after that is the 9th. The 9th of April, I'm going to be catching an aeroplane up to Cairns because I'm going to Japan.
Oh, nice.
So in 2 weeks I'll be in Japan. So I won't be able to do with this sort of stream. So next week I'll probably end up doing I'll smash geocentrism, and then you won't hear from me for about 2 or so weeks, because I
won't be on that one because my niece's birthday.
Oh, very good, very good. Yes, well, I now have a 360 camera. So I've got one of those Insta360 cameras. You may have seen a video recently where I tried to record the equinox sunset with 360 camera.
Right.
And so I'm going to take that 360 camera over to Japan and go and get some awesome footage.
All right. Well, thanks again.
No worries. All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed my thorough presentation, and all errors were exposed. You get to enjoy all of my errors, no matter what they are. They are 30% on the road. So I'm going to cut it off now because it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. So yeah, I'll speak to you guys next weekend or next week, and have a good night for tonight. All right, good night.